Us. It is a happy spiritual Sunday. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Let me see. Here we are. So as we do every week, we want to keep engraving in our consciousness, because even as we said here, how many people, I mean, if you go back 300 years, we just had a quick conversation before we went live. If you took your cell phone back 300, 400, 500 years ago, and you told somebody, yeah, that a little box like this, you'd be able to speak to people all over the world. Or better, when they'd hear the disembodied voice coming out of the box, what do you think they'd think? Wow, cell phone technology, that's really great? Or would they think there's something witchcraft happening? Right? Or if you told them without the voice, well, this thing one day you'll be able to speak to people around the world. They think you're crazy. So when we tell people the Zohar is not a book, because it's written in Aramaic, and Aramaic letters are actually particles of the light of the Creator, that these books will emanate light, protect us, protect the world. Florida, no hurricanes landed on about 15 years, have touched ground, destructive. No. Before that, didn't go a year or two without another hurricane. So what changed? The fact that the center of Florida, Boca and Miami, got together and we spread Zohar all over the coast till we filled enough, created enough light to protect from hurricanes. The thing that we cannot fall and take for granted is that that's enough. Because sadly, there's still death, there's still fighting, there's still all kinds of chaos in Florida besides hurricanes. We've stopped the hurricanes, so people wake up and say, oh, if the Zohar will prevent hurricanes, why can't it also prevent hatred, animosity, drug abuse, people abuse, things like that? Death and disease. Why not? Limitation of consciousness. And that's what we're going to get into in hopefully a different way for most of you today. But let's start with our affirmation, because we've got to keep reminding ourselves the truth, because there's an onslaught. When you go outside of the Kabbalah Center, there's an onslaught of lies, falsehoods that we're going to literally talk about today. And we want to keep reminding ourselves the truth. Our affirmation, obviously it's a very powerful day if that opponent is trying to block us. So we say it together. Those of you online, those of you here, consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. And so that's where we want to get started, all human beings. So let's start like this. Some of you remember there was actually they remade it, War of the Worlds. There was a show about an invasion. It was supposed to be an invasion of aliens from outer space coming to take over Earth. They remade that. Well, first they found out after all the panic. If you remember the story, there was a lot of panic because people thought it was a real radio broadcast. And so there was panic, and then all of a sudden they announced it was just a radio show. So we say consciousness is everything. Why were they panicking? Because they thought it was real. So even though it was not real, but they acted as if it was real, and what happened? They took on themselves stress, fear, all kinds of anxiety. And then in the end, what happened? They said, no, it's just a radio broadcast. And then what happened to all the stress and the anxiety? Slowly dissipated because people say, oh, thank goodness, it's not real. But we are sitting here, and this is what I'd like to share with you today. We are sitting here in 2022, and we are literally, each and every one of us, we are in a war of the worlds. Each of us. So if you remember last week, we sort of explained a little more detail. The Zohar, the Kabbalists teach us that you can believe the Bible, the stories are true, people existed, all of that. But they said, cautioned us, do not take it only on its literal level. Because if a person tries to take the 5 books of Moses on a literal level, they will be confused, bring chaos, and ultimately probably, with the help of that opponent in their head, disbelieve in a creator, or like most people have done. You know, they say the Bible, okay, the Bible's a holy book, goes on the shelf, and they never look at it again. Because you can't read it only on its literal level. It contradicts itself too many times. So the Kabbalists have taught us how to decode the Bible, because the Zohar itself is the universal blueprint of creation, of everything in this universe. And that's why it is true Not too good to be true. We have all the answers. Anything that goes on in the world, we have a way to understand how it came about and then how we can fix it or correct it. And so in the Kabbalistic explanation, they talk about the creation of the world in sort of, this is the metaphor, that the Creator was building and destroying worlds. Almost, if you think about it, like you and I, if we were, I don't know about you, but if I had a lump of clay and I was trying to make something, right, even just a little vase or a little ashtray, what would I probably do? Like this. I'd take it, I'd try and mold it, I'd say, that's not right, and what would you do? What would I do? And then start over. And then I'd do it again, and if it didn't come out well, put it back into the bowl. You're following me, I hope. So this is the metaphor, that there was the creation and the destruction of the universe over and over again. For us, and that's what I wanted to talk about, for us, we want to understand, what does that mean for us? Because on a daily basis, probably a number of times in the day, we are either creating or destroying our world. How many of you have any chaos in your life? Forget the outside world. You have any chaos in your life? Is that a world of joy and happiness and peace? Would you consider that the world of the Creator? Perfection? No or no? Sort of the opposite of what we do. Usually it's yes or yes, right? No, of course it's not. But we all have that experience somewhere along the line in the day. And then are there not parts of the day where you just feel like you're connected to the Creator, you're happy and joyous, things are going well? Now you could say yes or yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So the Kabbalists remind us, and if you've taken Kabbalah 1, you understand it. If you haven't taken a while, I encourage you to go back and review. There's only one energy force in the entire universe. It is the light of the Creator. Period. If you believe in a Creator, creative force, if a person doesn't believe that creative energy is pure and perfect, only good, then why bother being in this life? Because if the emanating source of life, the fundamental source of energy in this universe, is good and bad, then what hope do we have to have a life of pure happiness, joy, eternal bliss? Could never do it. Could never. But because we understand that the Creator's light is pure and perfect, and is filling this universe and filling every person, then the true universe is absolutely perfect. And there's only the one force of the light of the Creator, which is power, illumination, extending itself, emanating itself, and the source of all goodness. Now, in this world, we have free will. So free will means we can choose to use the light of the Creator in a positive, constructive way, or we can use it in a destructive way. It's up to us. Like my teachers, the Rav and Karen, always talked about electricity. Is electricity good or bad? Can't say, right? Why? We could say Kabbalistics, both. It's just power. Electricity is power. We can use it like this. Make the computer work, make the lights go on, your refrigerator, air conditioning, all those good things, yes? But people also get electrocuted. They used to have, I'm not sure if they still have, the electric chair. But you hear now and then people working on the wires, or if the wire's down and they get electrocuted. Can we say that electricity killed them, had the desire to kill them? No, electricity is electricity. The either misuse or incorrect use caused the chaos. So too with the light of the Creator. And we are deciding moment by moment whether to create or destroy. And this is what I'd like to explain in a little more detail, maybe in another way, perspective that we've heard before. So the Kabbalists talk about fundamentally, from our point of view, not from the Creator's point of view, from our point of view, we live in two universes at the same time. The universe, let's call it, in the example we just gave, where electricity is being used well and where it's not being used well. Those two universes. The Kabbalists call them the universe of Ein Ra'ah bad eye, negative eye, and Ein Tova, good eye. What does that mean? So if you think about it, and I was just got the reminder this morning, you remember the saying, they got up on the wrong side of the bed? Now you heard that. So whenever I say it, and I'm going to do it again, I always ask, or I always share, for years since I heard that saying, and I was adult, I'm trying to decide which side of the bed is the right side and the wrong side. If I get out on the left, is that the right side or the wrong side? If I get on the right, so I've tried both. What's the saying really mean when they say, oh, Joe got out of bed on the wrong side? What does it mean? He's in a bad mood. Means he woke up in a bad mood, and now wherever you met him for breakfast, he's a co-worker or something like that, he's still in a bad mood. But Joe sort of usually is not in a bad mood. So woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So this is what the Kabbalists are teaching us. Didn't we just say consciousness is everything? So when a person wakes up in the morning, we choose which universe we're going to be in. The universe of the good eye, which we're going to get to a few details here in a minute, or of the negative eye, meaning the right side of the bed or the wrong side of the bed. We have to decide. Nobody can make you be in one or the other. We can falsely believe and even say that I'm in a bad mood because of what they did. But it's not true. So let me give you a few examples here. So we'll start with the level of thinking, because if consciousness is everything, that's where it starts. So what's the world? The world of the negative eye goes like this. Person looks in the world and says, oh my God, it's horrible out there. I don't like those people creating the chaos. Right? Thinking. Look in the mirror, you know what? I can't do it. I'm not capable. I don't know, it's overwhelming me. Those are destructive thoughts. I don't have the power. I'm too old, too young, too tall, too short, too this, too that. That's coming from what? The negative perspective of life. What's the positive? What's the creating? The good eye, where a person knows. Starts out in the thought. The world is filled, the universe filled with the light of the Creator. Everything is perfect. Like we say here, we are pure and perfect beings of light. Creator only can create good. That also means in our thoughts, if we're in the universe of the good eye, we look around at every person on earth and we see the light of the Creator inside them. You know what? I can see the light of the Creator inside that person. Yes, in this moment, they may not be expressing it. We're not talking about Pollyanna, just pretending. No. But even when you and I do something reactive, that doesn't mean that the light in us left. We may not be expressing it. We may have covered it up to some extent, but that doesn't make it go away. Same with everybody else we look at in the world. So whoever you have looked at up until now and said, oh, they're bad, they do this terrible thing, or they caused me trouble, or whatever it may have been. The negative thoughts, we have to start thinking, no, they have the light of the Creator inside them, like I do. So we want to be in the creative, in the creating, not destroying universe, seeing the light everywhere. Now, once you can start to see the light, or a person doesn't see the light, then we go to the next level. Let's call it the level of words. So what are the destructive words? They're an idiot. They're horrible people. Look in the mirror. You're a stupid person. How could you have done that? You never said that about yourselves, I'm sure. No, never criticized yourself? Oh, okay. Just checking. I mean, I knew I was an oddball in some ways, but I didn't think that, right? Or you look at someone, I'm so angry. You don't know what they did to me. I resent them. I'm cutting them out of my life. Those are destructive words that come from where? The perceiving darkness in the universe, not seeing the light. Think about the other things you might be saying, right? You listen to the news. People say things, oh, that's terrible. How could they say that? It's awful. And then you go tell people, what's gossip? Gossip constructive words? Nope. Nope. And we can gossip about ourselves the same way. When we don't see the light in us and we say those bad things, same thing as saying it about somebody else. It's also gossip. What are the words of creating? The words of the world of the good eye? When we can see the light in people. We did last week. If you didn't join us, go back on the Facebook page and watch it. In the middle of it, we did that meditation for those people we don't like. So I'll be good words. I can see the light in them. I see they're not expressing it, so I want to praise them. You know what? I know you can do better. Is there something I can do to help you? How can I support you? Even the opposite sometimes. They did something bad to us. I see the light in them. And because I see the light, and I know the system of the light is, everything is feedback for me, so I might look at them and say, you know what? If I did something that hurt you or made you feel bad, I'm so sorry. Words of apology. But it's illogical, isn't it? They did the bad thing. They said the bad words. Why should I be apologizing? Because when we see the world of light, when we're in the world of the good eye, then we see even beyond the moment, which means we understand that there is cause and effect in the universe. And so whatever comes my way has to be something that I did this life or a past life. Not always easy to accept, very painful in many situations. But you know what? If I want to get out of the world of chaos, the world of the negative eye, then I've got to start focusing on the world of the good eye. You ever thought of somebody, and it doesn't even have to be in a bad way, but just, they have their ideas out here and you have your ideas out, and you say, we're worlds apart. You ever heard that phrase? Or they're in another world. Great. So if you found yourself in the world of darkness, the negative eye world, and there are people there that are misbehaving, again, we could see it, and we want to be away from their influence. Like attracts like. So if we're thinking, saying, or doing those negative things like they are, right? They scream at me, I scream right back. They say something nasty to me, I say something nasty to them. Am I in the same world or a different world? I'm in the same world. So no matter where I go on earth, I'm still in the same world. So as the Kabbalists teach, and I've heard for 30 some odd years from my teachers, if you love somebody, then you could be literally on other sides of the earth and you could feel like you're right next to them. But if you have animosity or hatred towards somebody, you could be literally on the other side of the world from them and you're right next to them. They could be next to you and you feel like you're miles away because the animosity. But like will attract like. So if we really want to remove ourselves from the influence of people misbehaving, again, our work is to see the light in them, then we have to jump into that other world. Because if they stay in the world of the negative eye and we jump into the world of the good eye, we're in two different worlds. Their energy can't influence me. But the opponent in our head won't let us do that. It's taunting us to stay in the same world, just hold resentment, anger, guilt, shame, insecurity, fear. So the other part, obviously, is the actions. So we can do actions that are of the negative eye, hatred, addictions, violence, anger, resentment, gossip, things like that. Or we can do the good actions, kindness, compassion. Do something good for somebody. Do a favor to somebody. Help out, inspire, praise, encourage. I mean, we all have the idea, if a parent constantly criticizing a child, words, thoughts, and actions, what will be the tendency of the child as they grow up? Happy, joyous, secure? No, the opposite. The opposite. So the words, thoughts, and action, or the actions and the words actually that are based on our consciousness, on our thoughts, will decide what world we live in. We create our own world. We have to keep that in mind. So you look at the world today, look what's out there, right? And when people look and they say, oh, look at the chaos, and it's all turmoil, and these people fighting with these, and these hating these, and these not seeing the way I see, and they not doing what I want to do. If they are seeing with the negative eye, the covering on the light instead of the light itself, then they are creating for themselves a world of turmoil, misery, stress, fear, anxiety, insecurity. Yes, painful, impactful, I hope. That's the real, my goal and my mission today is to, yes, push an uncomfortable button inside each of us. Because when we feel uncomfortable enough, then we want to do something to be comfortable. We're learning here in the center how to do the things that will not just bring us comfort temporarily, but we want to be comfortable forever. When we see with the eyes of the light, we see that heaven on earth is here waiting for us. It's right here in front of us. All we have to do is uncover it by our actions, by our thoughts, by our words. But it's waiting. But if we're still thinking it's their fault and they did it to me and it's all blaming them, then we're stuck in that world. And as the Kabbalists teach us, in the world of darkness, in the world of the negative eye, we cannot bring light. In the world of the good eye, we can't bring darkness. We're jumping back and forth, one moment to the other, one choice to the next. So, although I don't know quite how video works, but some of us remember the movies, like 32 millimeter film. In fact, why did they call it movies? I remember I was a teenager, it was the first time I understood. You know, you go to the movies, but you don't stop and think, why do they call it movies? It's short for moving pictures. Because film is just pictures, still photographs, but because it spins by so fast, it looks like movement. So you and I, in essence, are creating our own movie. Every choice is like another picture. So we can jump. But when we're in the darkness, you can't bring light into the darkness. You have to jump to the world of light. If a person's in the light and then to grow in that world of light, they make the wrong choice again, the world of the bad eye, the negative eye, then they jump into the darkness. So we're constantly moving back and forth. What's a real Kabbalist? The true Kabbalists, master Kabbalists, they're the ones who always saw the light. That's why they were always calm, always peaceful. Did they handle the chaos around them? Yes. But like you and I do. Hopefully you and I do. You ever clean your house? You ever straighten up? What does it mean? Think. We do it on a daily basis, but then when it comes to real, truly world impactful, life impactful things, we say, oh, we don't have the ability. When you straighten up, what are you doing? You're saying, my house was in order. We messed it up. We had a party. We had guests, whatever. It doesn't have to be in a bad way. We had guests. We had a party. We had a social event. Now there's a little mess. I want to return it back to its original order. So we straighten up. We take the chaos, we put it back in order. We take the pieces and we put them back the way they're supposed to be. Well, hello, you and I have the power to do that. The Creator filled us with its power. We are the power of creation in this world. And we're constantly creating. Every word, thought, and action is creating something for us because we believe cause and effect. Yes? If there's cause and effect, who's determining the effect? We're setting the cause. The effect is going to take place on that cause. So we got to start waking up and say, I am now determining I want to be in the world of the light. I don't want to stay in the world of darkness. I want to start seeing with a good eye. That's why, like we said in the beginning, why do we keep doing our affirmation? Keep reminding us. I want to express greater love, kindness, and compassion to all human beings. Because that means I'm pushing myself into, I'm moving into the world of the light. Because I realize no matter what you and I or they have done, there's still the purity of the light of the Creator inside. So then our work is to bring that, draw that out, so that it can straighten up the world. But if everything that shows up in this world becomes a divisive issue, how could we straighten up? You probably had that too, either when you were kids or with your kids, right? You tell the kids, straighten up your room. And then after they straighten up the room, you say, it's not straight. And they say, yes, it is. And you say, no, it's not. And they say, yes, it is. And you say, no, it's not. Why? Because they see it from their eyes. My mother, may she rest in peace, or may she be active wherever she is on earth now. She used to, from my point of view, was punishment. My desk, if you didn't have my eyes, you'd say I had chaos on my desk. I had a mess on my desk. But I could tell you where everything was. To this day, I still have aspects of that. So my mother would walk in the room, your desk is a mess. I said, no, I know where everything is. She thought it was a mess. Two different worlds. She just opened a drawer, take everything, one drawer. Now it's a mess. Now I can't find anything. She said, but it's in the drawer. I said, I can't see it. When it was on the desk, I knew exactly where it was. Her eyes, chaos. My eyes, order. She puts it in the drawer. Her eyes, order. My eyes, chaos. I know, and I'm trying to make it simple so we can relate, but we have to be able to translate that out into the world today. So whatever issues are out there, and I don't care what they are, and frankly, I don't care what side you're on. If you're perceiving it from the bad eye, the negative eye world, that it's causing the inner angst and resentment, and even worse, toward the other side of that issue, then the only enemy of humanity is winning. Because we all have only one enemy. We're all one soul. Go back to the Bible story. Who was the enemy of Adam and Eve? Even in the biblical terms. Adam and Eve weren't enemies with each other. They were created from one body, right? The Bible says, and remember, it's a metaphor, or it's true, but there's a deeper meaning. There was one being, and then we all know the story. The Bible says God took the rib or the bone of Adam and created Eve. That means Eve came from Adam. Yes, there's a Kabbalistic explanation, etc., but they weren't enemies, they were part of the same being. You and I, even though we look physically separate, we've got to remember our soul is one soul. We don't have, per se, our own soul. We have a piece of the one infinite vessel soul. Which is why we always talk about here, we're constantly on a spiritual internet. Your soul, my soul, and every human being on earth are connected. Spiritual internet, you can't shut it off, you can't disconnect, you can't unfriend them. You know how I can prove to you you can't unfriend them? Because you think so. I haven't talked to that person in 20 years. Thank God they're dead. I don't even have to think they're in this world. Did you get it? When a person speaks like that, oh, you know that person? Yeah, they're not in the world anymore, but I have resentment. You have no idea what they did. Are they really gone? No! You brought them back. You resurrected them. When you feel bad about them, even though they're long gone physically, or even just physically far away, you resurrected them and teleported them right back in front of you to get you upset again. You did it, not them. You did it. But the beauty of that realization and acceptance, if we did it, we can undo it. If my mom, wrong. If I did through my mother put everything in the drawer, I can undo it. I could take it out and put it back in my order. I don't have to be stressed out. I wish I'd known Kabbalah back then. It was a little stressful. Especially if I came home from school and she had done it when I wasn't there. Now all of a sudden I'm screaming and yelling, where's my this and where's that? And how can I, even in the drawer. Now my mother would come over, she'd open the drawer, say, here it is, here it is. So I just put it back on my desk where it belonged, in the order that I knew. And then a few weeks later, back in the drawer again, all right? So what did I do? I'm just telling you, just to be, I don't know, open and a little humorous. So I graduated high school early and I left. So then I could do, in my dorm room, I could do whatever I wanted. So she couldn't come to my dorm room and start cleaning up, put everything back in one drawer. I didn't know enough Kabbalah to do it the right way, but that's how I took care of it temporarily. But the thing is like this. Think about one person who is no longer in the physical world that you hold some kind of negative emotion towards. Just think about it. You don't have to. You're not going to have to share it, but I want you to think about it. So now we understand we're seeing them from the world of the negative eye. We're still holding the animosity, the resentment because they did or said whatever it was. But here's the thing. Think of that emotion. If it's resentment, if it's anger, whatever it may have been, tell me that there's no other situation in your life currently that you have that same emotion. Towards another person, towards a group out there, to, I don't know, towards somebody or something. The same emotion that you had to the person who's no longer in the world. Do you have that same emotion towards anybody who's in your life or in the world today? Yes or yes? Exactly. So then the emotion didn't change. So our opponent will tell us the illusion. Remember, the world of the negative eye includes 5 senses. The perception that there is time, space, and motion. So like we said, oh, time, they're dead, they left the world, etc. But did they really? No, we've emphasized a few different ways. They're still here right with you. So even though we think on one hand there's time, space, and motion, on the other hand, we are transcending time, space, and motion. Because if they died 20 years ago and we're still feeling bad, might as well not have been 20 years, no? So if you're still holding that negative emotion, then we have to change it now. We have the power to change it. That's the most important part of all of this. I'm not trying to give us a downer. Oh, look, it's terrible and we create bad worlds. No. Yes, we have to acknowledge we created with the negative eye falling into the illusion, we created our chaos. But now when we'll jump into the world of the good eye, we'll start to see the light, acknowledge the light. Our words, thoughts, and actions will be channels of the light. Then we'll jump into the world of the light. And all the positivity will be there, and all the good will be there. And even the emotions that we used to have will start to dissipate. That's the power we have because the Creator put a piece of itself in us, which means we are constantly creating. The Creator doesn't create for us. Creator's job is over. I've said that hundreds of times in particularly just in Spiritual Sunday. The Creator's job finished before the Big Bang. This physical world is a creation of 8 billion human beings. It's not a creation of God in that way. Creator created only perfection, sees perfection. There are perfect people living in the Garden of Eden from the Creator's point of view. We are the ones who have the delusion we're not in the Garden of Eden. We're the ones who disconnect ourselves from the Garden of Eden. And peace and harmony and joy and happiness and prosperity and all the good things. We do it. So we have to start getting back. We have to start moving ourselves. So how do we do that? Wake up. Wake up. Like we said, the person who wakes up got out of bed on the wrong side of the bed. The day is not over. Since it's not really about the physical side of the bed or the bed, pause. Decide now I'm going to be on the right side of the bed. I'm going to start looking at everything with the eyes of the light. I'm going to start looking for the light in everything. Instead of saying, I don't think there's light in this situation or in these people, I'm going to start looking for the light. Because if I'm looking for the light, I've already put in my head that there is light because the Creator is infinite. So there's no place that the Creator's light isn't. I just have to dig through my illusion to find it. So here, what do we talk about? The Zohar says, The Zohar for us, source of all wisdom, every form of wisdom, spiritual, physical, science, medicine, whatever. It's all in the Zohar, blueprint of the universe. It says, along these lines, the way a person wants to go is the way the universe will lead. So if John got up in a bad mood, the wrong side of the bed, guess what he's going to see when he gets to his car? He's going to see something wrong with the car. Maybe there's dirt. Maybe he's one of those, people who cleans the car all the time. He sees a little dirt on the car. He's going to be in a bad mood again. Then he drives down the road. There's going to be a bump in the road that wasn't there yesterday. Bad mood more. And then you're going to, get caught at the stoplight when he wanted to go through because he feels he's a little late. Again, the bad mood. And John himself is continuing to see the darkness of the world instead of the light of the world. We can choose any moment because it's in us. It's not in them. It's in us. So we start with that consciousness. Creator's perfect. The world's perfect. I'm perfect. Everybody's perfect. Perfect light. How can I now draw the light out of them? So what do we do here? If I want to jump from one world to the next, I have to begin to see. In fact, I want to let you know there's a phrase that has been unfortunately corrupted, even in its translation from its original language of Hebrew. And sadly, every religion uses it. The fear of God. And then, not only did the opponent, the adversary, corrupt the meaning so that religion uses it. You better do what God says or else you're going to hell. Read my mind. Then the opponent gave it to parents. You better do what I say, or I'm going to put the fear of God in you. Oh, you didn't get that? Really? You must have had really different parents, right? Put the fear of God. You do what the parent says, or else. It's the fear of God. No, the word is yirah. Comes from the root word to see. What it's saying really is not the fear. We could call it the awe of God. Our work is to see the light everywhere because the light's infinite. So it's not fear. It's like awe, awareness. So when we're in the midst of chaotic situation, a challenging situation, pause. Change your thought. Move the thought from the world of the negative to the world of the light. And say, you know what? Let me look for the light in this. Here's my opportunity. From Kabbalah 1 forward, well, how do we teach it? Every challenge is an opportunity to reveal light. Every challenge, an opportunity to reveal light. We just have to confront the challenge. What the opponent tells us is run away from the challenge. So to move from one side to the other, we have to pause. You can't change until you pause to think, until you interrupt the flow of the negative thoughts in your head. Once you pause, then you can change it. If you don't pause, you can't change it. It'll just take another form maybe, but it'll be the same thing. Now, how do we support ourselves with that? So most of you have been in the center for a while. Those of you online, if you don't know, you're not familiar with them, then please talk to a teacher, go to a center, go online and look it up. The tools that we have, the Zohar, the Ana B'Koach, giving charity, being kind. The tools, Zohar, Ana B'Koach, 72 names like we do every week, giving charity, the spiritual connections. Those are means to directly reach in our soul, awaken the next level of light so we have more power. It doesn't do the work for us, but it gives us the power to beat the challenger that's just on that next level. We move up from 4 to 5. Our challenger, the opponent in our head, will now work on a level of 5. So we need strength to beat him. So these tools, which is why we do the meditations every Sunday, we're going to do again on this one of the 72 names, is just to awaken the soul. Ignite a new light, a higher light. We have power. We have power. Give you 2 stories that I just heard recently. Changing worlds. And they both have to do with parent-children relationships. So I hope that relates to some of you out there. So one of them was, for about 20, 25 years, one of the parents the parents got divorced, and the parent that took the kids badmouthed the other parent. So as the kids grew up, had no connection with the other parent whatsoever. In fact, always thought bad, bad, bad. Now, the parent that was disconnected, I forget how they came, but they came to the center. They started to learn things that we're learning. So he starts sending light. You know, when we talk about sending light, beam the light. First, you have to realize you have light in your soul. Beam the light out from you to your children, and through your children to everybody else. So for a while, he's got this thought, you know, he's beaming light, beaming light, beaming light, beaming light to his kids. They're still physically distant. He's beaming light, beaming light. So I happen to be present when this happened. That's why it's especially joyous for me, because I saw the miracle. It'd been a year or so, 2 years, maybe more, that he'd been in the center, but he never gave up. Just sending light, because as he came to the center, frankly, he also came to realize that he had done, not to his kids, and not really even to his ex-wife per se, but he had done things in his life that were not so positive. So he was willing to accept that responsibility, that he created a spiritual debt, and he had to keep sending light to pay that debt back. So I was there that day when we were meeting, we were talking, we were in the midst of a meeting, and all of a sudden he gets a phone call. His daughter, that he hadn't talked to in 20 some odd years, she's calling him. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Very emotional. You know, you could see right away, you know, here's this really tough, strong guy just pouring tears and tears because it's his daughter. Okay. So then there was another case similar, but this was a little more distant. So I want to give you these two perspectives. There were a group of siblings. Okay, they all got along, whatever. But one of the siblings, after the parents' divorce, again, had animosity towards one of the parents. Okay, the rest of the siblings were okay, but this one was disconnected, had bad feelings or whatever. Again, 15, 20 years. So in this case, if you look at it a little differently, the one that came to the center and started to understand what we're saying, again, emanating light, but let's call it, relative to this morning's message, she, from the world of light, the world of the good eye, she took that world, and in her meditations, she just surrounded her family, the siblings and her parents, in that world. So in her vision, she's still sending light, but surrounding them, because she had no animosity towards any of them. She just told me this last week. The ex-spouse, who also, right, had held a little animosity, told the child, you know what, you have to start making up with your mother. And the next thing you know, you'll never guess. Or you're not going to guess? Okay. They end up in the same coffee shop at the same time. And the son goes over to the mother, you know, hi mom, how are you? You know, like starts making up. And again, this is the first moment of meeting after years and years and years. He tells other people in this coffee shop, he says, this is my mother. This is my mother. So the light works. We just have to work with it. That's the key. And persist. We have to be consistent. Never give up. Enough light will take away all the darkness. We just have to keep going. Remember, the beauty is, if we're emanating more light and we're putting ourselves more and more in that world of the light, then our life is automatically getting better. So even until we see those other changes outside, our world's getting better. More peace, more love, more protection, more calm, more serenity, more blessings. We just have to persist. And like this one of enveloping the world, and that's where I wanted to sort of finish, as we move ourselves from the world of the negative eye to the world of the good eye, from the world of darkness into the world of light, like I told you that one parent, let's just start together. The more of us who are enveloping every human being on earth in that world of light, the more we're waking up the light in them. Because even though we have been, and many people today are, immersed in the illusion of darkness, The light is there. We don't have to turn on the light. We just have to activate the light that's already in our soul and their soul. So the more of us surrounding the world in light, which is why we do these meditations, we will here in a few moments, the faster we will shift the entire world. Because everybody just needs like a wake-up call. And they will start to change. An awareness that there are greater blessings in the world of light than what they think they're getting in the world of darkness. If I get my way, think about it, have you never got your way? Look back sometimes on your life. I want this and this and this. Sometimes we get it, it's good for 5 minutes, and then it's finished. So if we just keep looking and say, well, I want those people to believe what I believe, and I want them to vote the way I want, and I want them to do what I want to do, great. If they did it, 5 minutes will feel good. But if we're not awakened to the light inside of us, then there's going to be something else we're missing, and something else we're missing, and something else we're missing. So we'll keep trying to manipulate the world to give me satisfaction. The easiest thing is, I'm the center of my universe. I have the force of the Creator inside me. Just keep shining light. I will remove all the covers of darkness, and I will be more easily able to find my way to greater love, kindness, compassion, joy, prosperity, protection, all the good blessings. It's here. We just have to open our eyes. So we're constantly in those two worlds. We could be, the negative I world is really what? Hell on earth. Is it not? If you think about it. The world, the good I, is heaven on earth. The hell on earth, like we just said, the first thing you get is a bit of warmth, right? The person looking at the bad eye, the negative eye, they're on their way to hell. But on the way to hell, it's warm for a little bit. And then comes all the torture and torment. The world of the good eye, yes, it's a moment of discomfort. I have to apologize to the person who's cursing me. I have to be kind and charitable to people or things that I didn't want to be. So it's uncomfortable. But that moment of discomfort leads me to the path of heaven on earth. Greater eternal bliss, greater happiness and joy. So we're constantly deciding. So we've got to keep waking up and decide, I am committed to be in the world of the light. I am committed to see light everywhere. And I will never give up looking for the light through whatever I might have perceived as the darkness or the chaos, because I know the light is there. Then, as we'll all do that and we'll keep embracing, think of it like light. If everybody on earth had a birthday candle, and we start lighting birthday candles, sure, it may not suddenly remove all the darkness of the world, but if we keep going and keep going, the more and more people whose candle is lit, the more light there will be, the faster the darkness will go away. So when we start to take away more and more of our hell on earth, and live in our heaven on earth, we're drawing everybody else with us. And so we are at the precipice now, whether you see it or not. The Kabbalists explain we are ready. We're at the gateway of heaven on earth. We're the gateway now. All we have to do is present our ticket to get in. You go to a movie, there's a ticket to get in. Yes? You go to an amusement park, there's a ticket to get in. Sometimes to a club, there's a ticket to get in. To an event, there's a ticket to get in. There is a ticket to get into your piece of the Garden of Eden. The ticket is simply, I see the light, I open my heart to the light in other people. I open the eyes of my heart, as the Kabbalists say, to see the light in the other person, and I begin to feel the pain of their soul that's trapped right now in a body that's doing negative things. And when I feel that pain as if it's my own, then I can be more motivated to open my world, my gates of Garden of Eden, and I can let everybody else enter in too. Because the ultimate Garden of Eden, the ultimate of heaven on earth, is only when we're all there. Up to that point, no matter how high we grow, whatever we will live, we will feel eventually some lack, because there is a part of our soul that's not there. So our job is to get the hell out of the world of hell and get the heaven into this world of heaven on earth. God bless. Thank you. So as we do every week, and I keep reminding you, the center cannot function and achieve its mission without your help and your support. And, over the years, I must share with you openly why it comes now. I don't know, it's what's coming in my head. The center, as I hope you're understanding more and more, our mission is literally peace on earth. Remove the pain, suffering, and death from every human being on earth. Until that happens, there's more Zohar to spread, more Kabbalah to teach. The only way we can continue to do that is with your help and support. So yes, every week here on Spiritual Sunday, I encourage you to give a donation, give a contribution. Your teachers, if you're a student in the center and you have a teacher, they will somewhere along the way say, hey, there's this project, that project, would you like to donate to it? Yes, there is a need for more resources until there's no more pain, suffering, and death. But what I want to remind you, and that's why we take this moment now to bless the offering, every time we invest our time, money, resources in spreading the Zohar and bringing people to come learn what we're learning here, our life gets better because it's the one stock you can invest in that only goes up. There's no going down in the stock of the light. So yes, we will keep asking. You'll keep hearing about projects and things like this. I just want to let you know, it's your free will. You feel to give, great. You don't feel to give, it's fine. It's your choice. But I want to remove that piece that sadly I've heard for 35 years in the center. That opponent will put in people's head, why they keep asking for money? Why they keep asking for money? Yes, because we have a mission. It doesn't go in our pocket. It goes into the projects of the center. Like we said before, I don't know if we said it on here, but 15 years, no hurricanes touched ground in Florida because we raised the money and the students spread Zohar all around Florida to the point where no hurricane has touched ground to create destruction. 15 years, never happened in history. The earthquakes in California stopped, people being saved, miracles happening all the time. So we just have to expand it. So if it's in your heart and soul to support, yes, do, and do with all your heart. Push yourself even to help support because your stock goes up. Stock goes up. All right, so let's take that moment now and then we'll do our meditation on the 72 names. So just hold your offering in your hand because money is a vessel. Money is not the power of the Creator. The energy that we put in it causes that light to be revealed or, heaven forbid, concealed. So we just want to, one, have gratitude and appreciation for all that the Creator's given us, for our talents and abilities, for our very breath and life is dependent on the light of the Creator staying in the body. So we also appreciate the fact that we're learning here in the center, not just in the brain, but to feel in the heart and soul. We are all one soul, a part of each other. And therefore, by spreading the light of the Zohar and the wisdom of Kabbalah, we are drawing together all those fragmented pieces into one unified humanity, working together with love, joy, peace, and harmony. And so we inject our light and our love and this appreciation into this gift, into this offering, that through the projects of the center, it will remove literally the angel of death from the landscape of humanity, so that the only thing that will guide us, our thoughts, words, and actions, will be the light of the Creator. So we send this gift out with love, knowing that it will come back to us, also with greater love, clarity, and guidance. And together we say, Amen. So I'd like to do, before we go, this is one of the 72 names. Those of you who are new, the Hebrew or Aramaic letters are not ink on a page. Yeah, your eyes look that way, ink on a page, but they are actually portals to the endless world. They shine the infinite light of the Creator. And so, eyes being the window to the soul, as we're looking at them and just engraving, oh, I hope it works. Oh. Gus, can you push the button on the computer so it goes, thank you. Why isn't it? The down button on for the arrows. No, on the, yeah. You see where you have the 4 arrows? In the bottom right, just push down. It's not going? Uh-oh. No, nothing? Okay. So you'll have to look. The letters are Chaf Lamed Al Yud. Chaf Lamed Yud. It's awakening the Creator inside. So here, maybe I'll do like this so you could all see. So just look at the letters. Let the shapes be engraved in your mind's eye. Chaf Lamed Yud. Awakening the Creator inside. Okay? Then if I can ask you, just sit comfortably in your chair, feet flat on the floor, hands comfortably in your lap. Relaxing into the chair, into your seat. Taking a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose. Hold the breath for a moment. Exhale through the mouth. Allowing a circulation, a stronger conscious circulation, not only of the air we breathe, but the light of the Creator that empowers the very breath of life. Breathing in the light, holding it to infuse from head to toe, and exhale, letting go of your stress, whatever tension, blockages you may have held up to this moment. Just let it exhale, exit your being. Relaxing yourself into the light of the Creator that fills us and surrounds us infinitely, powerfully, lovingly. Let's envision the light force particles, Chaf, Lamed, Yud. Allowing the light from the endless world to channel through them and directly through the top of our head. This light that awakens the Creator within. Let it fill you from head to toe, activating the sleeping parts of your soul. They begin to shine, radiating their light, their love, their blessing. Allow yourself to hold the thoughts. I am the light of the Creator, incarnate in this body. I am a pure and perfect being of light. The light enables me to handle all situations with love and kindness, with mercy, understanding. I commit myself to stay in the universe of light, the good I. I am capable. I can handle everything coming my way. And I am making now a committed, greater effort to create a world of peace and harmony, all the blessings of the light, because the Creator has given me that power. And together, let's surround the entire world, every human being, in this sphere of light. Enveloping them, every person, in the world of the good I, the eyes of the light, the eyes of the Creator. Chaf Lamed Yud. Engrave it in every cell of your body. Expand it in your soul, that is your container of the light of the Creator. Feel in your heart, the heart of the Creator, that is pure, unconditional love. And let's together let that energy be beamed out to completely fill the world of light, the world of the good I, the world of the Creator that we are manifesting on earth. Strengthening our conviction that as we shine more light, we reveal more light through our sharing actions. We are bringing the world back to its original state: peace, love, harmony. Truly heaven on earth. Engrave this present feeling you have, the vibration of love, serenity, peace, the infinite power of the light. Engrave it in your heart, your soul, your mind. That it will be the constant influence in your words, thoughts, actions. And together we take one more deep breath to anchor it, solidify it in our heart and soul. And as you exhale, slowly opening your eyes. Wow. Okay. Those of you online, thank you for joining us. Oh, I put the, for those of you who want to donate, the link is there. Have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next week. And again, if you like private sessions, you can contact me for that. Or if you have a small group that would like to do some private classes, we can arrange that also. And remember to share with me more of your miracles and your experience. All right? Have a great week. Lots of love and light and blessings.
Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to this channel that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Share the video with your friends, they can also benefit. And check out the website, www.kabbalah.com, that's Kabbalah, for hundreds of articles and classes. Wish you an amazing day, and God bless.